The downside to being an adjunct is the lack of stability. Every 2.5 to 3 months, I go through this this extreme nerve-wracking situation where I don't know where my next paycheck is coming from.
Having that kind of flexibility to work and do the things I like to do and to teach has been very nice.
The worst part of being an adjunct is called an adjunct. Like you're junk, you're disposable, you're a battery, okay?
I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy with the position that I have. I have no plans to apply for full-time.
We should have 2 water fountains in every lecture hall. One that says adjunct and one that says tenured. And I think that would be a good illustration of what we're dealing with here.
I was a working journalist for 20 years.
I come from a long line of steelworkers. Over 100 years my family worked. I was 5th generation steelworker.
I began my career working with teen mothers at the hospitals here.
Before I was an adjunct, I was a cook in a restaurant.
Saw an ad in the paper. I applied, and 4 days later I was in the classroom. So keyboarding, and I've been there ever since.
Yeah, it was important for me that I be home with my daughter, at least some of the time. But at the same time, I also didn't want like a huge gaping 6-year hole in my resume. So adjuncting kind of keeps a steady base for me and then allows me to kind of have that flexibility on top of it.
There's no difference between an adjunct and a faculty member when it comes to flexibility. It's the same thing. So when someone says it's great to be an adjunct because I have a flexible schedule, well, the full-time professors have a flexible schedule too.
Up until our union sake, we lived in terror. We didn't know for almost day to day if we were going to get fired because somebody knows somebody in the school board that don't like you, okay, one form or another. So, we got to treat our students not so much as students but also as customers, okay?
I mostly teach developmental English and developmental reading. I like those levels.
I teach cultural anthropology.
Computer camp, website design camp for kids.
I teach composition.
I eat, drink, and sleep history.
I teach film studies because I really enjoy doing it.
Being affiliated with the university is good. I get able to swim at the swimming pool every day when I want to. I mean, I have to pay for that, but I couldn't even get in there. I could through being an alumna of the university, but
The pay is probably the worst part about being an adjunct. But I think that that's endemic to teaching. I think that's just part of the profession, and we know that going into it.
We're working in a factory, but at the same time, we're not going to be noticed or promoted for our efforts. And that's why there's a lot of alienation and isolation with adjuncts.
Basically, I'm living with my sister for economic reasons. As an adjunct, you're never completely sure from one semester to another what you're going to be having coming in.
Well, the best part, as I was telling you, is the opportunity to pass on what I've learned and to inspire students that there really is a wonderful opportunity for doing this kind of work.
I like the expression that a student has when he or she has a revelation.
I like to see the light bulbs go on.
Every semester, I always have the spark, the wonderful sense that there's give and take.
I really love interactions with the students. I love the social interaction aspect. They are so grateful for all the help that you can give them, and if you can spend 5 minutes with them after class, they're just, ecstatic about that.
Most of us are teaching all these years. We don't want to do anything else. In other words, we want to continue on and on, but we do want eventually, like anyone does, okay, respect.
Shame on you full-timers and those with tenure. Protect the guild, please.